What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mirko. Today, we're gonna take you through another mat class where the focus is going to be on the muscles of our waist, our side legs, and our inner thighs. And of course, we're still gonna target all the other muscles in our core, but that's where the focus is going to be for today. So, are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go. Let's start by kneeling position. At any point during the class, we're going to be doing some kneeling work. If you need any padding for your knees, go ahead and put them under your knees or double up your mat if needed. So we're going to start with the hands behind your head. And then we're just going to do a little side bend to your right. So we're just starting to warm up the waist and the rib cage a little bit in preparation for the work ahead. And then you come back in. So just a mild little stretch just to feel a little bit of opening through the sides of your ribs. And you can take an exhale to come back and an inhale to side bend and an exhale to come back. And then pause towards your right side. So you have 12 ribs on either side of your rib cage. So the ribs go from the bottom here all the way up to under your collarbones. So even under your armpits, you have ribs. So really try and now expand the armpit and the rib cage to the ceiling. So try and point your left elbow to the ceiling a little more. And then as you come back, close the ribs and come back to the center. Same thing on the other side. So you want to open not only the bottom of the ribs, but also the side and the top of the ribs. Feel a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of an open through the armpit. And then as you exhale, you're going to come back to the center. And we do that again. So imagine your rib cage is like a fan. So you open the fan to the ceiling. Now on the way back, you want to start from the lower ribs. So the lower ribs come down, and then the other ribs stack until you're back into your neutral. Same thing on the other side. So as you go to the left, you want to start from your armpit. Open the armpit, then open the ribs below that, and then below that, and below that, until you feel that stretch evenly all the way through the side of the ribs. And on the exhale, you're going to pull the lower ribs down, then the other ribs down, and kind of restack them as if you're closing a fan. And we'll do that one more time. So inhale, open the armpit to the ceiling, point your left elbow as much as you can to the ceiling, exhale to come back. And one more on the other side. So open the rib cage, open the rest of your ribs, hold here for an inhale, and an exhale to come back up. Let's come up to high kneeling position. And we're gonna open the knees a little bit wider. We're gonna take that stretch a little bit deeper. So with your arms starting by your sides, you're gonna take a breath in, and then on the exhale, slide your hands down your right side. And you wanna get to the floor next to your knees. So to increase the stretch here, just take your arm up and over your head. And remember, you still wanna open the rib cage to the ceiling like we did in the last exercise, but you should feel a deeper stretch going all the way down your hip as well now. And then restack your spine from your lower ribs, start to pull yourselves back up, stack, all the way. And then we're gonna change side. Your left hand slides down to your side. Your right arm reaches over, make sure your shoulders are square, your hips are square, and pretend your right arm is being pulled diagonally away from you. So you wanna feel a little bit of a length down your right side. And then as you exhale, come back to the center. We'll do that one more time. So you can start with your arms in a T shape this time. You're gonna side bend from the ribs. You're gonna touch the floor with your right fingers. Your left arm reaches up and over. The closer your arm goes to your head, the bigger the stretch should be on your side. And then on the way up, feel like you're pulling from the lower ribs, stacking your spine up, and one more on your left side. So find the floor with your left fingers, reach your right arm close to your head, and away from you at the same time. Big inhale into the right side. And then exhale, let's come back from the lower ribs, coming all the way back up. Good, all right, so that's your warm up. We're gonna start lying on your right side. So hopefully your waist feels a little bit more open and warm. So we're gonna start with the stabilization exercises. You're gonna lie down on your side. You wanna make sure that your head, your shoulders, your hips, and your heels are in line. Now, for the neck, you have two options. You can have your arm straight, or you can have your arm bent. If you have your arm bent, your neck is a little bit higher off the floor. So if that's more convenient, go ahead and take that option. I'm gonna stay with this because I feel my neck is more supported this way. So a very important thing to do on your side here is to lengthen the top hip away from your shoulder. So you don't wanna see the top hip scrunched up. You wanna see that it's lengthened out. And you almost wanna form a little bit of a space under your waist. So pretend you have a blueberry under your waist. You wanna keep that blueberry without squashing it down. So let's just test your balance here. Top leg comes up, and then your top arm comes up. So the trick here is to keep the top hip facing straight ahead in front of you. Oftentimes our hips want to go this way, so make sure they stay stacked, and that's going to start working your waist muscles already. So if that feels okay and feels pretty easy, lower the legs down, lower the arm down, lift both of your legs up, still maintaining that length in the top waist, and then top arm lifts up towards the ceiling. And oftentimes, some people experience a little bit of wobble, and that's okay. You can keep your arm down if that's the case. But if you can, keep your arm up and hold that there for a couple more seconds and still breathing normally. Let's pick up the top leg to the ceiling. Not crazy high, just a little bit higher than your hips will do. There we go. And again, at any point, you can always take your hand down onto the floor. So from here, with your top leg lifted, you're gonna go into 5 little circles. And that's when it becomes a little bit more challenging for our waist muscles. So again, if your hips are wobbling, just keep your hand down. But your bottom leg should be lifted off the floor at this point. And then hold the center here. You're gonna reverse the circle, so take the other direction. Try and keep the knee straight, the moving knee straight. And we're breathing at the same time. I know it's hard to do so many things at the same time, but we must remember to breathe at some point. Finish the last one with your legs together. Just check in here, make sure you still have that length in the top waist. Good. And then from here, you're gonna take your top leg up again. We're gonna go into scissors. So your top leg is gonna go forward, your bottom leg is gonna go back. These movements are pretty small. Again, you can always keep your hand down if you prefer. And then switch. The most important thing is to keep the top hip facing forward and not rolling it back or rolling it forward. And if you can, keep your arm up, otherwise keep your arm low. Let's go a little bit faster if you can. If this feels too unstable, go slow. But increasingly go a little bit faster, a little bit faster, a little bit faster for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your legs together. Take your top leg and place it down onto the floor in front of you. You can hold a knee if it's easier, otherwise just keep it there. Now, bottom leg is gonna be the focus here. You're going to flex the foot, you're gonna lift the leg a little higher up towards the ceiling. And then from here, you're gonna pulse up for 8 and 7. Your top hip is still facing straight ahead in front of you. Try and think of your right inner thigh coming up towards your left bottom and lift up. 4, so you should feel your inner right leg working here. Last one, hold it there, point your toes, let's circle the leg 5 times. So the leg stays off the floor the whole time. Give me another 2 here. And 1 more, hold at the top, reverse. Still breathing. And again, if this arm gets a little tired, you can keep it down, or you can keep it behind your head. Good. Last one, hold the leg together. Stack the top leg up, feet together, reach your arm long, lengthen the waist a little more. Pretend somebody's pulling your left leg away from you and your left arm away from you in a different direction. Hold it here for 3 and 2 and 1. Lower the legs back down and then come up to a sitting position. Nice. So before we change side, let's just do a little quick spine twist here. So cross your legs, cross your arms. And remember, you can always sit with your legs in front of you if that's not comfortable for you. And then sit as tall as you can. And just rotate the spine a little bit to your left and a little bit to your right. And try and do this with your hips staying very quiet. So you just want to rotate shoulders and upper body. And again, think of your ribs moving segmentally. So you have your upper ribs moving, then your middle ribs moving, then your lower ribs moving. To come back, you have your lower ribs, middle, top. So that movement should feel like a spiral and not just like a straight twist to the side. So you want to feel there is rotation in the torso. Give me one more each side, and then we're gonna stop in the center. And then we're gonna do the left side. So go ahead and lie down on your left. And again, you can take the option to have your arm bent or arm straight, whichever one you prefer. So from here, you're restacking your hips, you're restacking your feet, you're lengthening your right hip away, so there's a little bit of a gap under your waist here. And then top hand down, top leg is gonna be up. Hold that here, keep energy in that leg, reach the leg away from you. Top arm lifts up off the floor. And see how that feels in terms of balance. And if that's pretty easy, then come down, have both of your legs lifted, and then lift your top arm up and see how that feels. So this is an option. Remember, you can always keep your hand down if you prefer. And if that's all going well, let's lift the top leg up and just hold it here. And then we're gonna go into 5 circles. So bring the leg up and around. And you might find sometimes one side is a little bit better than others. So we all have one of those sides that works a little bit better. And reverse. So if this feels a little wobbly for you, you can take your bottom leg down, or just simply take your arm down. And then hold the position here. So again, option arms up or down. Let's go into scissor. Slow and small movement. One leg comes forward, one leg goes back. Pause here for a moment. And switch. And switch. And switch. And gradually go a little bit faster. Remember, you can always take your hand down if it gets a little bit too wobbly. Good. Make sure your knees are straight. So you're moving from the top of your thighs and not from the knees like this. That's it. It's not a flutter kick, it's a scissor. And then hold the legs together here. And then take your top leg down. You can hold it or you can just keep it there. Flex your bottom foot. We bring the left leg up and then down. And up and then down. And so your focus here is to bring your inner thigh of your left leg up towards your right butt. And you should feel the inner left leg working to lift up. And in the meantime, remember, you still have your top hip lengthened out. So you can also place your hand on your hip and kind of pull the hip down instead of being all scrunched up here. Final one, hold, point your toes, 5 big circles. And also having the hand here gives you that feedback, whether your hips are rolling back or forward, and then reverse. But because this leg is in front, it should stabilize your hips quite a lot. Give me 2 more here. Last one, we're gonna keep the bottom leg lifted, top arm up, both legs together, hold. You still have that length out of your right waist. We're gonna hold and bring your arm up. Pretend somebody's pulling your right arm and your right leg away from each other. Draw the abdominals in and your ribs in. Feel long through your spine for 3, 2, 1. Lower the legs back down, come up to sitting. Let's quickly revisit the spine twist, because we're gonna add a layer to our side work. So your arms are gonna be side stretched. Then from here, grow a little bit taller. As you exhale, turn towards your right and make sure your arms are staying the same distance apart. You're just rotating from the rib cage. And then come back in and rotate towards the other side. And you don't have to really push through this movement. So just go where the spine tends to go. You just want to watch so you're not bending backwards or bending forwards. You want your shoulders to stay stacked above your hips the whole time. And then come back in. Let's do a couple more. So breathe out, rotate. Pretend you're like a wet towel. You're wringing the water out of the towel. Back in. Last one on each side. Exhale, rotate to your right. Come back in, grow taller, and exhale, rotate to your left. And come back in, rest your arms down. All right, so now we're gonna go into some strength work for the sides. We're gonna start with the right leg, right side again. So you have 2 options here. You can do everything on your side with your bottom knee bent, which is easier on your waist muscles, your shoulders, your wrists, your elbows, I should say. So I'll show you both variations, and we'll do the full version with both legs straight. So let's begin with your elbow in line with your shoulder and in line with your hip. Your bottom knee is going to be bent, your top leg is going to be straight, but you want to have your knees stacked. So from here, feel like you're lifting up out of your right waist. You can put your fingers under here and kind of just poke a little bit and pull away. Your hand can go up to the ceiling. From here, lift your hips up so your body's in a straight line. Right here, good. And then come back down, but without resting your hips fully on the mat. You just touch the mat and then you go back up again. And you can move your arm down and back up together with your spine. So now option 2, if you want the full version, both legs straight, you're gonna lift up and just touch the hip without resting. And lift, we'll do that 3 more times. Inhale to lower, exhale, lift up. As you lower the hips down, think of opening the rib cage like we did in the warm-up stretches. Last one, inhale down, exhale back up. Hold here, option 1, bend the knee at this point, otherwise keep your legs straight. Lift your arm up. We're gonna rotate like the spine twist we just practiced seated. Hold, inhale to come back. We'll do that 3 more times. Exhale, rotate the chest towards the floor. Maintain the hips facing forward. And then come back in. Last 2. Exhale, rotate, look towards the floor. Inhale to come back. You go 1 more. You should hopefully feel the right waist working nicely. Come back in, lower the hips all the way down this time. Nice. Pick up the legs. Let's do the other side. And then we're gonna add on to that. So this is just your easy stuff. There's more coming up. So let's do the easy option first if you want. So bend the knee, your elbow and shoulders in line, elbow and hips in line, and then your arm is up. So first, kind of just give yourself a little slouch on the side, which we don't want to do, but just feel what that feels like. Now you're gonna start to lift your rib cage up, and then you're gonna lift your hips up, just so that your body's in a straight line. And you're gonna lower the hips down without resting them. You just touch the floor. Exhale, lift back up. So keep this option if you prefer, otherwise, full version, both legs straight. We're gonna lift up, and we're gonna lower, just slightly touching, and lift. This is called a side bend, and you can imagine why that is, because you're side bending towards the floor. So again, think of opening the ribs as you come down, and then we're gonna stay here. Take the option to keep your knee down, otherwise stay with me and rotate 4 times. Twist the spine towards the floor. Come back to the center. Keep the hips facing forward, just rotate from the ribs, your shoulders and your head, and return back in. Keep the legs strong, so push into the feet a little bit, and come back. You go 1 more. Exhale, rotate. Reach for the wall behind you. Come back to the center. Lower the hips all the way down. Nice. Let's go towards the other side. We're gonna add 1 more thing. Then we're gonna leave the waist alone for a little while. So we're gonna go for the more demanding exercises now that you're nice and warm, hopefully. So the option is the same. You can keep your bottom knee down. We'll do the first few with the bottom knee down, in fact. So same alignment, your elbows and shoulders, elbows and hips. Stack the hips, so top and bottom hips should be the same, facing the same direction. We're going to lift up out of the waist. Top arm up, top leg up. Keep the space under your waist, bring the knee towards your elbow without sagging down, so stay up with your hips. Extend it out. Come back in. Extend it out. Stay with that. If you want the full version, stack your feet and then do 5 and 4. Exhale, come back in. Exhale, 1 more time. Come back in. Top leg forward, bottom knee comes up. If you're on your knees, just stay here. Otherwise, this is your option. Bring the right ankle right up to your knee. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Good job, come on down. Oh, that should work. Take this leg out, bend your right. Let's do a little stretch now before we do the other side. So slide your right hand to your left hand to your left toes. You can grab your toes and then side bend towards it. Make sure you feel that stretch all the way down. And you can turn the head if that's more comfortable for you. Just breathe into the right side. And then come up. Good, let's change side. So your left elbow on the ground. So remember, you want to start with your bottom knee bent just to test it out. And then if you feel like you can't do the full thing, then go with your both legs straight. I'll demonstrate both just so you can have a reminder. So top hip is gonna be facing forward, elbow and shoulder, elbow and hips. Once you're there, you're gonna take your arm up, you're gonna lift out of your waist, and then top leg lift. So you're gonna bring the elbow to the knee and then extend away. Elbow to the knee, extend away. Keep that going. If you wanna do the full version, come with me, we got 5 more. And back. And back. Watch that top hip, you guys. Make sure it's not rotating back. Keep it facing your screen. 1 more. Good. Hold. If you have your knees bent, you stay here. Otherwise, bottom leg comes up. Left ankle touching the right knee. And hold for 5 and 4 and 3. Lift the left waist. And 1. Come on down. Good job. Keep the left knee bent, right leg straight out in front. Hold on to your right toes. Left arm up and side bend. You can turn the head wherever is comfortable for you. Good. And just hold that there. Feel that lovely stretch down the left side. And then come back up. All right, how are we feeling? Hope you can feel these muscles have been working a little bit. So we're gonna revisit them later. So now I wanna do something a bit different. Something for the abdominals, and then we're gonna get to the waist again. So let's start by sitting facing, sort of like facing your legs. And then you're gonna have your knees bent like this. Elbows are wide. And you're going to just begin to roll your pelvis down just halfway. So pretend you are in a hammock. You're just kind of laying in the hammock from your shoulders all the way to the back of your knees. Use your arms to assist you and come back up. And we'll do it again. So you want to draw the abdominals in, send your tailbone towards your feet, and then come back up. And we'll do it 2 more times. If you're able to do this without assistance, you can just do the movement with your arms straight and back. Remember, the movement comes from your hips. So you don't want to be pushing the legs, you don't want to be pulling the legs, they're kind of just resting here. Now this time, let's have your legs straight and draw them together. So kind of just give them a little squeeze and do the same roll down that you just did. So you're gonna roll halfway down, you're gonna pause. Your rib cage and pelvis are connected. Then you're gonna come back up. And repeat that again. Scoot the abdominals in and roll back down. And come back up. Give me 1 more right here. Roll down. Hold it at a comfortable, sort of comfortable. No, I don't want to be too comfortable, but a sort of comfortable position. You're going to bring your right arm to the ceiling and then lower down. And you should feel that as you raise your arm up, your abdominals work a little more than when your arms are here. So lift up and lower. 1 more. Lift up. Good. And lower. Now, keep that scoop. Maybe you roll down just a little bit more. Open the right arm to the right. Keep the chest facing forward. Come back in and switch. And back. And open. And back. And change. Watch that your legs and pelvis are remaining very still. This should feel like a little burn in the abdominals already. At any point, if you feel your lower back bothering you, just come up a little more. And give me 1 more. To the right. And back to center. To the left. And back to center. Now dive towards your feet. Drop the head down. That's good. So now we're gonna combine them together. So you're gonna start by having your arms in front. You're gonna roll the spine under. You're gonna hold it here. Bring your right arm up. Now open it out to the side and then come back in. Left arm up. Open to the side. Come back in. And lift up. And open. And we're still breathing, by the way. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more each side. Up. Open. Come back in. Last one. Up. Open. Come back in. Dive your head towards your feet. Oh. And now we're going to add some rotation. So it's the same arm line that you know and love. Now we're going to just add a rotation from the spine, because the next movement is going to be all about the rotation. So let's start with your arms in front. You're going to sit up straight. Keep the legs reaching away from you. Roll the abdominals in. Roll your spine in. Good. And then hold right here. So you're going to have left arm up. Now turn towards your left arm, and then come back. If you feel like your feet are lifting, you might be too far back, so come up a little bit more. Keep your feet grounded. Change. Right arm. Rotate towards the right and come back. One more time. Lift your left arm. Rotate around and come back. One more. Lift up. Rotate without moving your hips or legs. Come back in. Hold the middle. Roll all the way down. You're gonna stop before your shoulders touch the ground. Take the hands behind your head. Bring one knee towards you. Bring the other knee towards you. And we're gonna go into the full crisscross. So you're gonna turn towards your right knee and you're gonna extend your left leg away from you. And then come back and switch. And come back. Making sure that the back of your pelvis stays glued on the mat the whole time. And back. And that your shoulder blades are remaining lifted off the floor. And back. We've got 4 more to go. And back in. Imagine your legs are suctioned into your body as you come back in. Extend out. Suction the leg back in. One more. Extend out. Suction the leg in. Hold. Hold on to the back of your knees. Lift yourself up a little bit higher. Use your arms. Good. Hold. Imagine you can hold this here for 5 minutes. We're not, but just imagine you could. Take your hands behind. Double legs. Dipping down to the floor. And back up. If that feels too much for your back, do one leg instead. Otherwise, stay with me for 3 more. And lift up. Remember, you want to dip your toes down and then suction your legs up and in. Last 2. Your lower back should remain in contact with the floor the whole time. Last 1. Leave your feet down and roll your shoulders down. Oh, those abs should feel like they've been working a little bit, right? So let's give them a little break. We're gonna go into the bridging now. So position your feet so that your heels are roughly slightly ahead of your knees, so that when you get up into your bridge, they should be stacked. So we're gonna start with a pelvic tilt. You're gonna roll your spine up, and then here we adjust your feet if you need to, so your knees are in line with your ankles. You have the weight of your body between your feet and the shoulders. And then from here, go ahead and roll your spine down, inch by inch, starting from the top, rolling all the way down to your tail. And again, your tail points up to the ceiling. Your rib cage stays soft. At the top here, you want to connect the ribs in the front of your pelvis. So you're looking for a line, a straight line from your knees to your shoulder. So if you take your hands by your sides like this, the arm should be straight in line. You don't want your bottom to be lower or higher. You just want to be straight. Now you can rest your arms back down. Go ahead and roll your spine down. We'll do that one more time. Then we're going to stay at the top. So exhale, scooping the pelvis in. Peel the spine up. Stay right here. Bring your left leg up into tabletop. We're going to go into the shoulder bridge. So your leg extends to the ceiling. From here, flex the foot. You're going to lower the leg down. Ideally in line with your other thigh, possibly lower if your pelvis is unturned. You want to make sure your pelvis is level. Point your toes and lift up. And we'll do that 10 times. And lift. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Option, take your arms up. It's a little bit more fun because now you're relying just on your right leg and your abdominals to hold you up. Give me 3 more. I might have miscounted, I might have done 12, but anyway. We'll do 12 on the other side too, don't worry. Come back down, final one, replace the leg, bring your arms down. Keep your pelvis up if you can, lift the other leg up now. Extend to the ceiling, give it a little stretch, flex the foot to the ceiling. From here, as you breathe out, lower down, point, lift up, exhale. You can also place your hands on your hips and feel that your hips are level the whole time. So at any point, if you feel like your right hip is a little bit lower than the left, just simply don't bring the leg down as much, your right leg down as much. Give me a couple more here. Pull down and lift up. One more. And then lift, bring your leg down, roll your spine all the way down, lower the pelvis completely, bring your arms up to the ceiling, and then from here we're gonna go into our 100. We'll start with the hands behind the head, just so your neck is a little more supported. So we're gonna start by doing a chest lift. So So as you breathe out, slide your rib cage towards your pelvis. From here, reach your arms in front or keep your hands behind if your neck bothers you. We're gonna start by pulsing the arms. So 5 inhales. Option 2, legs in tabletop. Option 3, legs straight at 45 degrees. So this is your standard hundreds. If you can, if your back doesn't bother you, lower the legs a little bit more. But remember, you want to keep the back against the mat, the feeling of suctioning your legs into your body, and you're reaching your fingers towards your feet. So there's a lot of work through the whole body here. We'll take that 3 more times. At any point, if your neck bothers you, do one hand behind and just a pulse with your one hand, and then you can switch. That's good. Last set. Suction your legs into you, lift the shoulders a little higher, and bring the knees towards your chest. Roll back down. Give yourself a little rock from side to side, and then place both of your hands onto your left knee. You're gonna extend your right leg out. Your neck and shoulders stay on the floor for now. And you're gonna switch leg. And switch leg. Now, while you're switching from one side to the other, you wanna make sure your lower back is in contact with the mat. So again, we're going back to the same feeling of having the leg suctioned into your body by your abdominals. Now, hold one leg in, doesn't matter which one. Roll the head and shoulders, look towards your straight leg. And now switch. And switch. This is your single leg stretch. Your elbows are wide. You're exhaling as your leg comes towards you. And you're looking towards your straight leg for another 4 and 3, 2, 1. Hold whichever leg you're holding. Keep holding it. Place the hands at the back of your cuffs. Reach the leg up. If your leg can straighten, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, keep it slightly bent. From here, we'll switch and go to the other leg. And switch. Now, have the feeling of lifting your legs from your lower abs, not from your legs. So feel like your legs are being driven up and down by your abdominals. And we'll take another 4 and 3. Abs should be on fire. One more. Pause here. Both hands behind. Bend the knees. That's your break. Extend your legs out. You're like, what? That's a break? Yes. Then from here, scissor without your arms. So here we go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your knees in. Take a breath in. Exhale. Roll up to sitting. Whoa, that hurts. And drop down. Hope you guys can feel that. Lots of ab work. So now let's take a little break from the abs. We're going to go into some rotation. We're going to go into a movement called the saw. Typically, this is done with the legs open and straight. However, you can do this with your knees bent if you feel like your hamstrings are a little tight, or you can do it cross-legged, and that's even easier. So choose your option. I'm going to do mine with the legs straight. So from here, we're going to reach the arms out about the same width as your legs. Then we're going to rotate towards the screen so you can see what's going on. Now, the hand that is towards your feet is going to be reaching forward between your feet. The other arm is going to be reaching back. Your spine will naturally twist and bend forward. And then keep your arms as parallel to the floor as you can. Imagine your arms are like playing tug of war. And then you de-rotate. Stay on the same side. We'll do it 3 more times. Same arm goes forward. So imagine that your arm, the straight arm in front of you, is like a saw, and you're sawing a piece of wood in between your legs. And then come back. Give me one more. You're sawing the piece of wood with your arm. Other arm reaches back. Come back in. We're going to rotate towards the other side. So spin around the other direction. Your arm that is reaching between your feet goes forward. The other arm goes back. Inhale, restack. Exhale, saw the piece of wood with your arm. And back. One more. I hope you're breathing, you guys. Sometimes we forget. Come back in the middle. Give your legs a bit of a shake if they were tensing a little bit. Now we're going to go into the full version. So instead of reaching between your feet, you're going to be reaching towards the opposite foot. So I'm gonna do my right arm and my left leg, or whichever arm and leg is closer to the screen for you guys. So take a breath in, grow tall, and spiral towards the screen. Now reach forward just like you did here. You're now across your foot. You can also hold on to your shin and give yourself a little gentle pull to go around a little bit more. Then restack your spine, come back up. Rotate towards the other side. Opposite arm reaching for the leg. Other arm is behind you, reaching back. Inhale, grow tall. One more time, rotate towards one leg, opposite arm to foot or to ankles. Look towards your back hand so your neck is fully twisted in the same direction. Come back up, give me one more. Rotate to the other side. Exhale, go forward. Arm reaches back. Use your arm to help you twist a little bit around. And come back to the center. Bring the legs in front. Nice. That was your break. Now we're gonna work some more. So let's readjust our clothes in case sometimes Pilates eats up, our body eats up our clothes oftentimes. So let's have your arms in front. We're gonna roll gently down before your shoulders touch the floor. You're gonna stop right there. You're gonna take your hands behind your head. Bring one knee towards you and then the other knee towards you. From here, 3 chest lifts. Inhale down, exhale up. Last 2. As you lift the chest, you wanna make sure that you're not pushing your neck forward. So it's not this, but it's your rib cage that are pulling you up. Stay here, hold on to your knees. From here, as you breathe in, stretch arms and legs. Keep them kind of high to the ceiling. Circle the arms around, pull the knees in. Option 2, for a bigger challenge, legs and arms lower to the floor. Come back in, we'll do that 5 more times. So big inhale, stretch yourself long. Exhale, come back. Lower back must stay on the ground. And come back. At any point, if your neck bothers you, stay with your head down. And come back in. Give me 2 more here. Exhale. 1 more. Exhale. Hold your knees. If you had your head down, let's pick it up now. Everybody take your hands behind your head. Elbows are wide. Legs to the ceiling. Draw the legs in towards your abdominals. From here, lower the legs 45 degrees. Pause and come up. And 45 degrees, pause and come up. Again, drive the legs from your abdominals. Last 2, inhale, lower. Exhale, back up. 1 more time. Remember this feeling because you're gonna do it in the next exercise. Hold, bend the knees, hands behind, roll up, feet off the floor if you can. If you can't, then keep them down. But if you can, keep them up. From here, the space from your chest to your knees will stay hopefully the same for the next exercise. You're gonna extend one leg to the ceiling, making sure your knees are still level. So be careful not to do that. You wanna keep the knees in. Good, lower down, change. So the space from your chest to your knees should be the same. And lift. And again, if the leg doesn't straighten fully, that's okay. Wherever you can go is good. Now, lighten the grip behind your knees. Extend both legs. Oh, that's not so easy now. And again, let me just readjust myself a little bit. Extend out. Good. Who's up for a full teaser? We are. So take your arms away. Reach the legs out. 4. Come back down. 3. Come back down. 2. Come back down. 1 more. Hold. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Cross your legs and come up. Good job, you guys. Lean forward and just stretch it out. Let the knees open, your hips open. That's good. That's a lot of work, those teasers, you guys. So now that we've done enough abdominals, I think it's time to revisit our waist a little bit. So let's come up onto kneeling. I'm just gonna move my mat. Or you can see what I'm doing mostly. So let's come up to a kneeling position. You want your knees to be roughly underneath your hips at this point, not too wide. But we're gonna take your left leg out. And you want your left heel to be roughly in line with your right knee. And at any point you feel like any cramping in the hip, you can move it forward or backwards. But ideally you want to have it in line. So we're going to take your arms out and behind you like this. So remember what we did at the beginning of the class when you were doing that kind of stretch. It's the same thing. We're going to be in a deeper stretch. So take a breath in, lengthen the top of the head to the ceiling. As you exhale, side bend your spine as much as you can. Now, ideally, you want to see your elbows being stacked one above the other. And then, starting from your lower ribs, you're going to pull, 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 pull. So again, it's a fan opening and closing. Same side, we'll do that 3 more times. So take a breath in. As you exhale, side bend. Open all of your ribs, your armpits, your middle ribs, your lower ribs. Point your left elbow to the ceiling. Come back in. If you're up for a challenge, once you're here, extend both arms in front, interlace your fingers, and now come up. Oh, this adds a little bit more work to your waist. Now the range should be the same. Exhale, come up. Hopefully you should feel the work right here in this waist. Lower down and come back up. Let's just do one more. We're going to stay there. Hold. Take your left hand behind your head. Right fingertips just touching the floor lightly. From here, place the right hand behind your head and touch and behind and touch and behind. Most of your weight should be on your right leg, you guys. Come back in. Give me one more. Hold. Little ones for 5 and 4 and 3. Try not to use your foot. Relax this foot here. Last one. Stay all the way down. Lift the leg up. Oh, this is your rest. You're like, what kind of rest is this? We're going to go into the leg circle. So the back foot can be just flat or tucked under, up to you. From here, lower the leg down and lift. Lower down and lift. The weight distribution between your arm and your leg should be about 70% on your leg and only 30% on your arm. So your arm is kind of light here. You can lift it up with no problem. Hold the last one there and let's just circle for 5 and 4 and 3. Elbow stays wide. Your left elbow stays wide. And reverse for 5 and 4. And hopefully you should feel your glute muscles working as well as your left side of your waist working. Final one, hold it up, bend the knee and come all the way up. Nice. Let's extend your right leg out now. Again, you want your right leg and your left knee in line. Right here, body stacked, hands go behind your head, and we're gonna go a little bit to your side. So again, ideally, your left elbow should point to the floor and your right elbow should point to the ceiling. If that's too much, go wherever you can. It doesn't have to be that low. But that's the aim. And then from the lower ribs, pull, 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 pull. All of your ribs, close the fan. And again, inhale to the side. Or you can exhale also as you go down. Sometimes I like to inhale. Usually an inhale helps to stretch more because it opens up the ribs more. So you're stretching all the muscles between the ribs. And then come back up. And we'll do that one more time. Remember, you have the option here to do it with your arms straight. And I'm going to say one more time. We'll do it one more time here. So go to the side, pause, right hand behind, left fingers just touching. You don't want to put any weight, you're just rubbing the floor here. Then from here, take one hand behind and down, behind and down. Make sure you stay bent as you do this. Last 2, one more, both hands behind, a little pulse for 5 and 4. From the lower ribs, 3 and 2, one more. Come all the way down to your left, shift the weight a little bit here so you have 70% weight and 30% weight. Shoulders stay open, but the rib cage stays in. Remember not to do that. You want to pull the ribs in a little bit. From here, lower the leg and lift. Lower the leg and lift. So you should still feel somewhat a little bit of work on your waist, but the glutes are now going to be working a little bit more. Give me one more and stay up. From here, circle for 5. In the meantime, your hips should remain very, very quiet, and your shoulders too. The only moving part of your body is that leg. Reverse. Still breathing. And for an extra challenge, see if you can lift your leg a little more each time. Final one, you're gonna hold the leg up, bend the knee, come all the way back up. Nice work, you guys. All right, let's take a little child's pose stretch for a moment, just to relax everything. So I think we've done sufficient amount of repetitions for our sides and our waist, and we've done a lot of work on the abdominals. So what's the only part of our body that we haven't done yet? Our back, but we will do that right away. So before we do that though, I feel like we should do a couple of push-ups, just because we're in this position. It will be such a waste not to take advantage of that, don't you think? You're like, no, we don't think, but we'll do it anyway. So let's do two options. You can do a kneeling push-up, so keeping the knees down, elbows closed, and doing this variation. Otherwise, of course, you know what, the standard push-up. Either way, remember your bottom wants to go up like this. You want to try and keep it down. Not overly down, but not overly up. Somewhere in between, so you feel some activation at the front of your abdomen to keep your ribs and your pelvis together. So we'll do 5 push-ups. I'll do them with my legs straight. Take the option of the knees down if you prefer. So from here, align your shoulders with your wrist. Take an inhale to lower and only go as far as you can maintain a straight line from your head to your feet. And then exhale, push yourselves back up. And again. Now, they don't have to be very deep, these push-ups. You just don't want to break form. So be careful not to do this and then like that. So we don't want to do a cobra, we want to do a push-up. So inhale, lower, and exhale, back up. Give me one more, inhale, lower, hold, exhale, back up. Good, last one, we're gonna stay down. So come down and don't come up anymore. Point your toes. You're like, oh, yes, I like this version of the push-up. So let's go into some swimming. Bring your arms over your head. We'll do the easy swim and then the full swim. So with your arms over the head, you can have your arms wider than your mat, which is easier on the shoulders, or for more challenge, bring your hands a little closer. You're gonna have your head and chest low to the ground. Not on the ground, but just kind of parallel to the ground. From here, as you lengthen your tail, this part of your spine here, towards your feet, you're gonna lift your right arm and your left leg. But you wanna maintain the length in the lower back. And then lower and switch. And then lower and switch. Now, full version here. If your back feels okay, we're gonna lift both arms and both legs, and we're gonna flutter kick the arms and legs. Remember, you're always working opposite arm to leg. So right arm and left leg should be higher, and then the other side. And just breathe. If your back can take it, lift the chest a little more. But if it bothers your back, stay down. Give me 3 more. 2, 1. Lower the arms down. Take your arms out into a T shape. Your legs are gonna stay down. Thumbs are gonna be up to the ceiling. Chest and head are gonna stay low to the ground. From here, pulse your arms up for 5 and 4, 3, 2, and hold. Remember, this movement is happening at the shoulder blades. So pull the shoulder blades a little closer together, not squeezing them hard, but just kind of like wider in the front of your chest. Bring the arms down and flip your palms up towards the ceiling. Just like the hundreds, we're gonna pulse the arms up. Inhale for 5, and exhale for 5. And again, if your lower back can take it, just lift the chest a little more. But as you lift the chest, feel the lower ribs right here sinking deeper into the ground. So you wanna lift from the middle back and not from the lower back. You should feel the work right here between the shoulder blades and a little bit lower. And just hold your arms here. If your back can take it, lift both legs up, otherwise keep them down and just keep reaching your arms behind. From here, you're gonna take your arms out to the side, then all the way over your head. Your neck can be straight and look down to the mat. Open the arms again, bring them down towards your waist. Give me 1 more, bring your arms up. all the way over. Bring your arms back down. Lower the legs down to the floor. Take your hands under your shoulders. And then from here, keep this shape that you have right now in your body. Peel your spine away from the ground and straighten the arms fully. So ideally here you want to be in a like a banana shape. So from the head to your toes, there's a gentle curve, there's a gentle bend in the back, and then bend your elbows and roll back down. And once your spine is fully straightened, let's go again. So lead with your chest. Your chest goes forward first, then it goes up. Scooping the abdominals in. Good. So again, the breastbone should be facing like a diagonal forward. Then bend your arms, come back down. All the way. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale, lift. And again, if that feels a little bit too much for your back, do a baby version of this. You can just do this and stop, and then come back down. Last two, everybody. Lifting up. Feel the lower ribs here pulling in slightly, and back down. We'll do that 1 more time. Breathing in as you lift. From here, keep your hands where they are and your knees where they are. Hinge from the hips and sit halfway down, but keep your hands where they were. Hold it right here. Feel like your hands are pulled forward and your hips are pulled backwards. Then from here, we're gonna go into a round back. So we're gonna go into a cow stretch, or cat stretch, I should say. From here, your hips come down, your chest lift up. We're back into our swan. And push the floor away. Really have strong arms here. And then sit back halfway only. Keep the fingertips wide. Round your spine into your cat stretch. Keep that connection with the ribs and the pelvis going to your swan. Lots of animals here, cat, cow, swan. Like a zoo in here. And then go back. Give me 1 more. Round your spine. Feel like the front body pulling away from the floor. And in your swan, you want to maintain some of that activation. So when you're here, you're not going to relax and hang. You still want to feel like you're pushing the floor away and you're pulling yourself up. From here, tuck your toes under, up into a plank. You can do this on your elbows, by the way, if that's bothering your wrist. From here, lift 1 leg up, lower back down. Without moving your hips, lift 1 leg up. This is called the leg pull front, and switch. Imagine you have a glass of water balanced on your butt. Don't spill it as you lift. Give me 1 more each side. Pushing equally through both arms and lower. Give me 1 more. And then bend the knees. Sit back onto your heels into your child's pose. Stretch your arms out in front. And since we have worked the waist a little bit today, let's give it a little stretch. So in your child's pose, take your knees a little wider. And you're gonna take both hands to the screen. Now, this is my left arm is the one closer to you. I wanna take my right arm on top. So I'll do it here so you can see, right? If you're turning to the left, your right hand goes on top. You're gonna drop the head between your arms. And if you want more stretch, just keep moving your hands further and further and breathe. Every time you breathe in, feel the stretch getting a little deeper into the right side if you're bent to the left, and vice versa otherwise. And give me 1 more. Big inhale into the side you're stretching. And exhale, walk your fingers back. Back to the center. Now go to the other side. So walk your hands and bend your spine to the same direction as your arms. The furthest arm should be stacked on top. So I'm bending to my right, I want my left hand on top. Ideally, if it doesn't get there, just near is fine. Drop the head down, breathe in. And really direct the air into your ribs here. So really feel the ribs expand on the inhale. Again, big breath in. And exhale. Give me 1 more. Big inhale. And as you exhale, walk your hands back to the center. Bring the knees a little bit closer together. And we're gonna roll ourselves up to a kneeling position. All the way up here. Give me a big shoulder roll, 3 times. Big, big, big. Then hold your shoulders up to your ears for no reason at all. Well, actually, there is a reason. Sometimes when we are tense, we do kind of a little bit of this. You want to be able to go, the neck long, shoulders free and open. And this concludes your class, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you guys enjoyed it and that you got a good workout out of it. Hey guys, thank you so much for taking the class with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button here. You can also find me on social media channels as well as at mirkofitfoodie.com. Till I see you next time, remember, make the change one small step at a time. Take care. Oh, that's not so easy now.